people ask me all the time, how do I compete with FootJoy or Titleist, those big names in golf? And I always tell them I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. Jonathan, how are things?
I'm probably the most frustrated I've ever been on a podcast because I sent you this guy as another one of my, hey, we should have this person on the show things. And he immediately said yes. And the business and entrepreneur side is just phenomenal. And you'll listen here in a little bit that I said like two things because my internet wasn't working and we just had to bail and I just sort of sit there standing there smiling. But wow, what a story, what a authenticity. And I can't, like, if this kid isn't involved in the golf industry for the next 25 years and actually changing things, I don't know. Like it's just that good.
Now, Tyler Nguyen, doing amazing thing. Four Links Golf, great conversation. Yes, I appreciate you sharing his stuff with me. It's hard to keep up with everybody that's doing
Right.
good things in the game, but when you see something like what Tyler's doing, it's
Phenomenal.
kind of remarkable. And then, like we love doing with a lot of people in the golf space that are very entrepreneurial minded, we get to learn why and how and what they've done, what's been working, where they failed, things like that. And so Tyler has a great story, and it's fun for us, one, to hear it because we love it, but it's fun to then be able to share that with you guys. So again, hopefully somebody will see this and say, hey, I'm going to check out Four Links Golf. I'm going to order a golf glove because of what Tyler is all about and why he's doing it. And he's doing great things with it, right? Supporting youth on course, giving back, what do you say, $15,000 already?
$15,000.
Um,
And here's the thing for me. He's keeping, I'm going to make my kids listen to this one. Like if you've got a child that you're hoping maybe they could hear something from someone and be inspired. He failed at his first thing with Four Links Golf in terms of just realizing this is a bad idea. And then he made a comment that I thought, again, I wish I could have jumped in. He said, I feel like I must take advantage of the situation. And here he is literally living, he mentioned 100 square foot bedroom that he's running his business out of, working full time, part time at a bank. And the support with his family, the support, obviously with the folks who've interacted with the equipment that he sells. But the must, like he just felt like he was obligated to do something is just it's everything you would hope that an entrepreneur and a product that you're using would be, and
yeah.
continuing to move forward. So yeah, I mean, 15,000 on youth on course when most kids his age would be like, I'm just going to keep that 15,000 and that becomes my new BMW or something. You know what I mean? Like it becomes the
Yeah.
next thing that they just have. So really cool.
Yeah, cool story. Another great one. So y'all are
Yeah.
going to enjoy this. As always, we are brought to you by our friends at Summit Golf Brands. I know we will release this thing in probably May is sometime. I'm not sure exactly when. Maybe April, who knows? But we just got to go down to the Shindig for our friends at B Dratty and hang out with all the Summit who's who. It was a ton of fun. Our buddy Dan Drellinger, Billy Dratty, and the entire team. It was a lot of fun. They do incredible stuff. They make incredible product, clothes, things like that. But it's a company full of great people. So I think that's what I love saying, that we get to work with them the most because of who they are. And it's fun to be associated with them. So very thankful for them. If you use BestBall 20 at any of the sites, Beadratty, Zero Restriction, Fairway, and Green, you'll get 20% off your order. Highly, highly recommend that you go check out all the great things they've got. And I know their spring line just dropped on the Beadratty stuff as we speak today and record. So go check that out for sure. But let's get to it. Tyler Nguyen with Four Links Golf. Y'all enjoy this episode. All right, Tyler Nguyen, thanks for joining us on the Whole Story Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today, Robbie?
We are good, man. We appreciate you joining us to tell your story about what you're doing with Four Links Golf. It's something really cool. Jonathan will often, maybe this is a guilt of him. He's scrolling the social media a whole lot, but he'll always send me stuff. He's like, "Hey, we need this person on the show. We need this person." And he sent me this the other day, and I was like, "Absolutely, let's do it." So that's when I reached out to you pretty much right away, and you were kind enough to join us. But we do want to talk about Four Links and what you're doing there. And I know, like many of our guests that are working in the business, you don't get to play as much, like we
Uh-huh.
just talked about. But we do want to start though when golf started for you. Like we want to hear your story first in the game. So when did you fall in love with this game?
That's a great question. I was introduced to golf at around 8 or 9 by my dad, which was a huge golfer back in the day and still today. But I really didn't take the game seriously when I was 13. So right before I went to high school, and I believe the reason why, or if I remember why I decided to, take golf seriously, because I think I wanted to play a sport in high school that didn't have to depend on you can say a team-like style, where if you play bad or if you play good, right, it's all focused on you. So if when growing up, I used to love playing basketball, but I wasn't the best player, and sometimes I would feel bad not playing good on the court. So I thought I'd try golf because if I didn't play bad, or if I did play bad, I didn't have to worry so much about just but myself, if that makes sense. So I didn't really start playing or pick up the game till 13. And like I said earlier, I was born and raised in San Jose, California. And growing up, I had a very great opportunity to be a part of the junior community at this local golf course in Southside San Jose called Santa Teresa Golf Club. And that's when not only I started falling in love with the game, but starting meeting new people and not only just building my game, but also my personality. Because I think the nature and beauty of golf is uh, meeting new people and learning etiquette and learning the way of the game. And it just taught me so much growing up as a kid, especially hanging out with all the junior golfers and knowing every single employee at the golf course, and them also teaching me the way of not only golf but the world.
That's really cool. Yeah, so many of the stories, and mine too. It was a parent, your dad or something like that, that
Mhm.
took you out to the course, and so that's really cool. And I know, and we'll touch on this later. And you're rocking the youth on course hat, but I know a
Yeah.
lot of what you're doing now, you help then still contribute to the Youth on Course Foundation, which is really cool. But so
Amen.
how do you then take your love of playing and all this other stuff and decide that you want to turn it into a business? Because you are working full time and doing something else, correct? Like most people, right? The golf starts as a side hustle.
That is true.
But
Yep.
how did you decide? You know what? The golf glove game needs an upgrade. Like I can do it better than what the others are doing.
That's another great question. So a little bit backstory with Four Links. When I started Four Links, it was actually started as a clothing brand back in 2023. But then I realized about a year in, I was never into clothing, nor I knew how to design clothes. So I kind of just dropped it. So alongside my full-time job at the bank, and then I also and Four Links, I also work part-time at the golf course where I grew up, Santa Teresa Golf Club. Every Sunday morning, I work behind the counter, check people in, and at one point with Four Links, after dropping the clothes, I was kind of figuring out what to sell next, and I decided to sell golf gloves because I noticed that golf gloves were the second most sold item in the shop coming after golf balls. So I love the consumability side of it, and I also love that golf gloves are a very high or yeah, they're very high retention customer retention product. So when a glove wears out, you can come back and buy a new one if they like in the first place. And then I knew that with my background and experience with manufacturing, if I work closely with one, I can create a glove that golfers can feel confident. But then it really wasn't until when I figured out what the product was until what I wanted, how I wanted to market. One thing I saw in the golf glove market is that, in my eyes, golf gloves are seen as an accessory, not as an equipment. Although your hands are the most important, part of connection and feel when palming a club or swinging a club. So I knew that if I focus as a performance brand, I knew that I can kind of create a reputation around the product that I'm creating, and then hopefully people can understand what I'm trying to build. But sometimes, the product and brand is not enough. That's when I decided in 2025 to really start a storytelling and talking about more than just a product, and the reason behind each product that we offer to our audience. Because if you don't tell your story, you're basically telling people to treat your brand like a commodity or your product as a commodity, and that's the thing. Nobody wants to be treated as a commodity because that's when you start competing with price. And we're a premium brand at the end of the day. So I knew that storytelling was our biggest asset, and if I don't tell it, someone else will. So that's what I'm trying to do in 2026. Just keep pushing out the story, keep focusing on quality, and stand behind the product.
Man, you're 3 years in and you've already switched it twice. You've got the wisdom of someone who's been in this industry for 50 plus years. Where where is it that you think
Thank
that you're
you.
finding this kind of confidence? And I'm not saying in a bad way, but like really honestly trusting yourself and saying, this is what I think the next best step is, and then taking that step, even getting involved in the first place, but never mind pivoting once and then twice and then trying to build that brand back as you're doing right now.
That's a good question. I think it's just a belief in myself. I also have to, admit that I have a huge supporting friends and family, especially my parents. I would consider myself one of the lucky entrepreneurs where I can take all the risk I want, and no matter if I fail or succeed, I'll have a roof over my head to sleep under and food on the table because my parents have not only just been so emotionally supportive of what I'm doing, but also in with what I believe in myself. So that helps a lot. I feel like that's something I must take advantage of and use to my ability and just keep pushing forward links. Obviously, the road ahead is going to be very challenging, but again, we stand behind the quality that we deliver, and we have exciting things that we're going to roll out in the summer, and hopefully, it can just strengthen what we're trying to offer.
I
I,
love the storytelling aspect of how you're trying to do this. So, are you and a lot of what your Instagram is kind of like building in public, right? Like you're
Mhm.
showing how you're doing this. Is that the story you're trying to tell?
That is the story I'm trying to tell. Most of the times in the early days when I was starting out for links, I was more so talking about the product and why this product's better or why you should try it. But then I feel that in an industry like golf, where everything's just so competitive, I think storytelling was my only way of trying to connect with my audience in a way that builds transparency and authenticity and genuality, you can say. So storytelling was my kind of way of trying to be a little different. People ask me all the time, how do I compete with FootJoy or Titleist, those big names in golf? And I always tell them I don't. Instead, I try to carve my own lane by building a brand off story, community, and trust. So that's just kind of the route that we I wanted to go with Four Links. And in the beginning, it was not easy. I've never been a fan of taking photos or videos of myself. I don't have a personal Instagram that I use to, show what I'm doing. I've been very kind of just out of the camera, but I knew that if I want to take this brand anywhere, I have to put a camera in front of my face and start telling my story because that's the only way people can start relating to it. And at one point, people just start wanting to support the brand or the person that's behind it. And then once they realize how good the product is, that's when they realize that this kid is probably up to something. So that's just my plan right there.
No, that makes sense
Yeah.
because if, like you said, if people don't see the face, see the person behind this,
Mm.
then they do probably think it's just some other product that somebody's mass consuming, trying to sell. Like, hey, here's the next golf glove on the market. But again, you say you're not cheap; you're a premium, high quality product. So
Correct.
I I I agree, and I think keep doing it. Right? People want to see you because that's what they're buying, like the trust.
The
And
person.
then, like you said, the product will take care of itself after that, and you'll get repeat buyers. So that's really cool.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, it's 100% what drew me to it because obviously as Robbie mentioned, I might doom scroll on Instagram on a regular basis. And so yours popped up and it's not, some fancy photographer and videographer with a professional golfer changing his glove and you're seeing that. It was literally you just going, I felt like there was a problem out there. Now it's really cool to hear the backstory of like your real life behind the counter watching people probably come in as they make the turn going, my stupid glove tore again. And you thought, I think I could find a way to fix that problem. So talk about that aspect in terms of identifying something that obviously a game that you're connected to and love and how I'm almost interested to ask already, like, is there something else that you feel like you can solve in the golf world? But walk us through that process to make that decision.
Yeah, I think when it comes to building any brand or business, it starts with the product, right? I don't care how good your story is, how good your marketing is. I don't believe any storytelling or marketing can save a bad product. And the story with Forlings as well too is we actually started with a bad product, a bad glove. So when I decided to start selling golf gloves, I was kind of sourcing everything through Alibaba. And if you're familiar with Alibaba, they basically you can connect with manufacturer, but you white label the products where you just kind of stamp your logo. And after kind of dealing with those, products, I've kind of had enough, and I knew that if I really want to take this anywhere, I have to focus on quality product. And during this is the time of 2024 or 2023, I'm sorry, end of 2023, I was kind of finding a way on how I can kind of achieve this. And I was reading the book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, and it really inspired me to travel the world.
Great, great book, by
Great
the way.
book. I love that book. It's the longest book I ever read too, so I'm very proud of it. Um, but I was just so inspired by Phil's journey of traveling to Japan and working with manufacturers and creating this relationship beyond just business, right? So that's when that inspired me to actually do the same thing or follow in his steps and find a manufacturer overseas. And was able to fortunately find one in Indonesia that not only stood up to the quality that I was looking for, but to also give me a chance because when it comes to working with these type of manufacturers, you have high MOQs. But I want to take the risk to go there and try to, convince myself that I'm a person that you can trust and that I'm committed to what I'm trying to build. And if you can give me a chance by lowering the MOQ, I can possibly do something with it. And they were able to give me that chance once it kind of sat down and we really spoke. So I'm very grateful for that. In terms of
Did you travel to that site?
I did. My first ever time traveling overseas. So it was literally just about 3 weeks after reading the book Shoe Dog. I was unemployed at the time. I was like, Mom, this might sound crazy, but I'm gonna go to Indonesia to and make golf gloves. And was really cool is that she was like all for it. She was like, "That's awesome. I just hope that whatever you do is you believe in it and that you just stay safe. That's all I care about." And again, with that type of support, you really just have no other reason not to pursue it. So they mean a lot to me. But yeah, first time ever traveling to Indonesia, and it was the coolest experience of my life and most important trip of my life. Funny story is when I was communicating with the manufacturer that I work with now, they thought I was like some older guy, 40-year-old dude, maybe just starting a brand with good and just want to do something. And when they picked me up at the hotel, they thought they were trying to find me, and I was trying to find them. And then I was like, "Oh, is that you?" They didn't know I was like some kid or like some 25-year-old. And then it was the funniest reaction because we were literally just 10 feet away on the phone. And for some reason, I didn't hear them as well too, even though I was like, "Oh, I'm right here." And then, yeah, that was the funniest interaction. But again, I think we've been working with each other for about 2 years now. And I've really felt that we've built a relationship beyond just business. I sometimes contact my account manager to kind of just see what she's been up to. And get insight of how the overall company is doing, but it's been mutual. And in
I,
terms
th-
of
I think that's great though, because so many of these people that are outsourcing products or, having them develop somewhere else never actually put feet on the ground in the place where and meet the people that are actually doing it. So,
yeah,
one, congrats on doing
thank
that,
you.
man. That's well done. That in itself, to anybody listening, should say, here's why you should check out this product because you have seen Tyler has been there to see the actual manufacturing process in
The
action. So
craftsmanship.
so
Mhm.
well done on that.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And when it comes to building a new product, so we've been selling our flagship glove or the only glove that we sell, which is a capsaw, for about over a year and a half now. And in this summer, I'm very excited to actually release a new product. And to give you a little sneak peek of what that is that from my experience, I get customers all the time, and I'm not afraid to admit, be transparent about this, but some customers experience rips on their gloves early on when they try their caps off after 8 rounds and 4 practice sessions and all that. And what I've noticed is that it wasn't really a product issue. It was more so of how these golfers are utilizing their product or their caps off. Is that they're using their gamer glove to practice their game, and that's not the value of what we try to perceive the caps off. Is that the caps off is made for the golf course to give you the ultimate feel and connection. And obviously, if you hit two large buckets right away, the feel of it's gonna get deteriorated away. So that gave me the idea to create a product designed for the driving range, a glove designed specifically for the driving range. But we didn't want to market it as so this glove will obviously be more durable than what we sell right now. But we didn't want to market it as a more durable glove, right? That's just kind of I'm pretty sure out right now out there there's a more durable glove than what we offer. But instead we want to change behavior. We want to market the glove as stop using your gamer glove to practice and use this new glove to practice. That's what we wanted. We want to create a rotation. And I believe that type of marketing angle can give us a better chance at being a little different in terms of how we per se or how we convey our new product. But it's not another, oh, this is a more durable glove that you hear all over the internet. So
I
that's
was
what we're hoping to release in the summer. Mhm.
I was just talking to Robbie about that. The last couple rounds, I probably haven't been using a glove at all. But whenever I'm hitting into a net or at the driving range, I'll throw one on because I know I'm going to be hammering through at least 100 balls to
Mhm.
figure out and still be bad. Um, so is that going to be a two pack where if I buy one of your gamer gloves, it automatically comes with a range glove or a working glove too?
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of e-commerce is that you're able to test all these type of offers, and I think what's important for us is that we don't devalue our brand. I mean, like, if you ever visit our website, we don't really have much discount codes. We do have bundle deals, but we don't really perceive it as like if you buy more, you save more. It's like instead we ask the customer, or the person who's on our website, how many gloves do you need? What type of golfer are you? Are you a weekend golfer? If you are, maybe get a two pack. But if you a guy that frequently plays a lot of golf, maybe get the three pack so you can rotate. So with this new range glove that we're developing, yeah, I mean, we're so open to offering a bundle where if you buy a range glove, you can also get the caps off for a perceived deal that doesn't devalue the brand.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Um, Talk about you guys were chosen by My Golf Spy as
Mhm.
one of their editor choice award winners. So talk about how that process came about. Like, how did they figure out and start testing your glove? And
Sure.
then how has that affected or impacted your business since that came out?
I can say one thing about My Golf Spy is that when My Golf Spy featured our brand back on June 30th, it changed the entire business. I think for the longest time I was trying to build story, but there's a lot of elements when it comes to defining a good brand. Is you need a good story, you need a good person, you need a good product. I think the one thing we lacked was credibility. We're such a new brand, and a kid selling golf gloves in his bedroom is not the most credible thing you can say. So we were looking for our aha moment, as someone that can actually say that this is a good product. And I can really proud to say that my gospel was that people to give us that first chance. And the whole way of how this happened was very organic. One day I was working behind the counter at the golf course. I got a notification that my gospel followed me. And I remember I was just kind of all hyped up, jumping because like they know who I am. It's really cool. So I actually reached out to them and asked if I can send them some gloves, and they're kind of like, sure, why not? But knowing how many gloves they sell or how many products they receive every year, I had to find a way to stand out. So instead of just packing our gloves, I wanted to pack a story. So I actually include the very first glove that we made, which was I called the Alibaba glove, and I put a note on it saying that, hey, you'll find this extra glove in it, but please don't judge us by this one. We wanted to include it to show how far we come to improve the product, and that we're not afraid to show how where we started. And Bennett, the director of media, and the whole entire crew saw that, and they just thought that was the most unique and different thing that they received in the last, 1,000 products of that year. So they actually reached out to me saying that, hey, we love what you're doing, and we want to give you a shot and talk and give you an opportunity to tell your story. So they connected me with one of the writers. His name was John Barba.
Hmm.
We got on a call, and then about 2 weeks after, he released the article. And I remember the day they released the article. I actually had no idea when the day was going to happen, but I just remember it was on a Monday. I woke up around 6 a.m. and I thought my phone was buzzing because of my alarm, but it was just Shopify orders just going on and off. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And then I
Wow.
get an email from John. He's like, hey, I just released your article. Hopefully, you get some sales. And then I actually took a day off work just to fulfill all the orders. And it was, again, probably the most successful day of so far in my entrepreneurial career. They really gave me a taste of what success feels like, and not only that day boosted my brand, but it boosted my confidence and motivation of what I can take this brand hopefully in the future.
That's really
So,
cool.
Thank
so
you.
you're in your late 20s, is that right?
Yes, I'm turning 27 in October of this year. Mhm.
So what billion-dollar company do you plan on running when you're in your 40s?
Oh, it's a good question. I haven't really thought that far, but that's definitely the goal one day, right? But no, for me, I think what's important is when it comes to building something, especially four links, I think what matters most is what's in front of me at this moment. I feel that when it comes to building something, especially in a very competitive space, it's always best to take it in steps that you feel comfortable with. And then a good example is that people ask me all the time why I still have my full time job. If Four Links is going well, you get sales every day now. Why haven't you quit? And I really believe that when it comes to comfortability and having less stress on my head, I believe I can be a better entrepreneur. I already stress enough in terms of what's going on right now, and I think adding, taking away my full-time job will only add more stress. And the reason I say that is because I believe that since everything is kind of all bootstrapped, I use the revenue to kind of let that uh, profits that we make to reinvest back into the company. And if anything ever happens, I can always have a full-time job to, rely on it and then hopefully bring it back up. But having my full-time job not only just gives me a little bit of time away from my brand, which kind of sounds funny, but since everything's just going so quick, I'm the only person that wearing all the hat. I think having about 6 hours a day of just kind of focusing on something else and every single night just focusing on the brand kind of creates a balance. And people would think that's stressful, but I believe since I love what I do with my full-time job and I love what I do with Foreign Links, it all works out and I find a way to kind of go around it.
That's really cool. How did you come up with the name Four Links?
Yeah, Foreign Links. Well, prior to actually starting Forlinks, I was really into e-com stuff. So I had actually started e-commerce back in college when I was doing. I don't know if you heard the term drop shipping, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of what the teens and Gen Z people still do, where they drop ship a product and they don't really create the product, but they sell it from a manufacturer, or they get it from a manufacturer, but they market that product. So I did a lot of that stuff, and I created brands where I've created names that people can't even pronounce. So with Forlinks, I wanted to create a name that people can actually pronounce. That was the first goal. And then I think the next goal, or the next idea was I wanted to create a name that people can kind of hear it and know right from the bat what this is all about. So with four links, it's actually short for the course, for the links. And my idea is I always just want to create products for the golf course, for the links. I feel that I see some brands kind of maneuver over from like starting as a golf brand to now selling surf gear or whatever lifestyle. I want to sell just stuff for the golf course. So it's short for the links, or short for the course. Hmm.
Well, let me ask you this. I know, and you talked about early your early days. You got involved with youth golf and stuff,
Hmm.
and I know on your Instagram page it says for every glove sold, you donate $2 to Youth on Course. And again, you're rocking their
Yeah.
hat.
Yep.
Talk to us about why you decided to do this, and maybe the how you've been able to help Youth on Course.
Sure. Um, I don't know about you guys, but anytime anything ever happens to me, whether good or bad, I like to kind of think about what got me here in the first place. And with Four Links is something that I've always wanted to build, combining my love for golf and my entrepreneurial mindset. So I thought it could be a pretty good outcome if I really committed to it. But I look back and I ask myself, how did I even get into golf, or how did I was even to even play it? I really believe that Youth on Course gave me that access. They allowed me to continue to play the game without any financial barriers, eventually having me start Forelinks Golf. So giving back is my way of just saying thank you to the organization that really shaped who I am, but shaped what this business is all about. Is that we are all about community, and I want to give my audience and my customers the ability or opportunity to buy with purpose. Again, people think when people uh, ask about the pricing of all my gloves or it's too expensive, I always tell them that, not only we stand by the quality, but when you buy our product, you're buying into a store, you're buying into a community, you're buying into a purpose, you're buying with purpose. So giving back is kind of my way of just kind of showing that. And I'm very proud to say that since starting this back in June, we were able to, and until now, we were able to donate over $15,000, which helped subsidize over 2,100 rounds of golf for kids across the country. So having that type of feeling, or knowing that we've done that, definitely just makes me want to just keep pushing the brand forward to try to raise that goal and really just give access to the kids that are playing the game just like I did when I was a kid.
That's really cool, man.
Thank
Golly, you're hitting, like Jonathan said, you're hitting
you.
home runs
I'm
on
trying. I'm
everything,
trying.
everything. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
it's really cool. So you're mastering and perfecting the golf glove, and
Hmm.
you've even talked about how you're going to add the practice glove that maybe is a
Yeah.
little more durable, that so you're not wearing out your gamer. What next? Do you have any thoughts or ideas of other, I don't want to say consumable products, because we're these are high quality gear, right? It's
Yeah.
equipment, not
It's
not
gear.
uh not just a
Equipment.
product. Any other ideas of stuff that you can do?
Yeah, I really believe that storytelling is the way of just going anywhere nowadays. And if you haven't noticed with my brand, I actually don't work with much influencers or content creators. My idea, what I want to do once we kind of reached the point where we built more reputation with the brand, we built our capital, is that I have a bunch of friends who kind of experience what the pro life is, how the pro life is difficult, the challenges and all that. And I believe the best people that can represent my brands are obviously the pro golfers. But nowadays it's very tough to get the hands of my gloves to say a player like Colin Morikawa or Rory McIlroy. So my goal is to hopefully in next year I can find a player that wouldn't say represent the brand, but I can help leverage their personal brand as well too by using the by Forelinks as a platform. So I think the coolest thing about golf is that everyone has a journey, especially the ones that are trying to make it on the tour, people on the mini tour. I want to find a player or a group of players who I can showcase their story, talk about their challenges, talk about them not making the cut, and using Four Links as the platform to leverage that personal branding. I believe that not only builds authenticity, but that also builds transparency and genuality into how real this journey is. Because if there's one thing that we both have in common is that we both have something to achieve. They want to become a pro golfer. I want to become, hopefully a golf brand that people can recognize in the next 5 years. So we all have a journey, and I'm all about showing my wins, but also my losses. Whether I get in a pro shot, whether I mess up financially, etc. And I feel like with golfers, people won't talk about how hurtful it can be to not make a cut after spending all this money on travel and hotels, right? And I feel like when people can hear that, not only they can relate to that person, not only can they get inspired, but they know who's backing it up and that the brand is just like the player itself. We're all in it together. We all have a story, and we want to be transparent about it because that's how we grow. That's how we become different. That's how we be recognized and heard of in the future.
That's awesome. Do you have a kind of a dream golfer that you would say, man, if this guy would collaborate with me? Who's your favorite golfer?
My favorite golfer, that's a tough question because how I grew up my game is I actually looked at players who I enjoyed and try to emulate their swing, and I do a combination of it. So I grew up loving Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, Ernie Els, and Fred Couples. I would probably say in terms of motivation and just being that person, I want to be like a Tiger Rory. But when it comes to building my swing, I want to have Ernie's backswing, but Freddie's smooth tempo. Because um, this is just my opinion. I believe Freddie has the most beautiful swing, but I believe Ernie has a better swing in terms of just textbook, playing wise and all that.
Yeah.
And I just want to, when I was a kid, I was trying to combine that too.
If
Um,
if you were the one that got Freddie Couples to start wearing a golf glove, like you would definitely hit the market for sure.
oh, 100%. I love
Yeah,
Bulls. I mean, he's in his 60s or something, and he still has the swag that most people or most golfers on tour don't have, the aura, you could
I
say,
know.
the Gen
I know.
Z.
No, you picked out some great ones that yeah, everybody wants the tempo that Ernie and Fred have. Like, that'd be amazing.
Timeless. Their swing is just timeless.
Yep, it's
Mhm.
perfect. How did you come up? Speaking of timeless, how did you come up with the infinity look for the logo?
Yeah, the infinity logo represents obviously the math logo. It means infinite, and I believe with golf, it doesn't really matter, who you are. You can be 90, you can be a 9-year-old or a 2-year-old, or you can have one arm or one leg. I feel that anybody can pick up a golf club and really get good at it if they really want to. So it's limitless. The game is limitless, and that's what the four links infinity symbol means. Is that if you want to play the game of golf, it's all about just taking action.
Well, very nice. Well, let's start wrapping up. One question we ask all our guests. We're
Sure.
going to do a quick non-segment here in a minute, but before that, we want to hear the story of your most memorable golf shot.
Most memorable golf shot. Hmm. Oh, I think my most memorable golf shot was when I was a junior golfer. This is probably my junior in high school, so I was probably 15 or 16, something like that. And I was playing in a junior golf tournament in De La Vega. It was actually for I think it was, if I remember the title, the Big I. I was trying to qualify for the Big I in some tournament in Ohio or Iowa or something like that. And it was held, the qualifier was held at De La Vega Golf Course in Santa Cruz, which is not too far from Pase Tiempo. And the first round was terrible. It was just really bad. I think what really started was the third hole is a par three that goes downhill, and then over a ravine. I just shucked it into the hazard, tried to play out of it, made like a 7 or 8 or something like that, and that's when my whole round just started, being bad, and I never had a good day that day or a good round. The next day it was a shotgun. I started on three, so I was like, "Oh great, I'm back to where it all started," the round. And I knew that growing up, I always felt like I played better the second time around, especially if I had the first round, because I just know what I did yesterday. I'm just trying to avoid it, right? And I think the best shot I ever had was on that second round on the first hole on that par three, hole number three. Hit a 6 iron and just absolutely flushed it and had less than a foot away for a tap in birdie. And not only it just felt so good and was probably my most pure shot, but it not only gave me confidence to finish strong. I knew I was a little far out from the leaderboard to make the qualifier, but I knew I could finish strong and get myself at least in the top 20 or top 15 or something like that. And I ended up shooting one over that day, over a 96 or something like that. So,
Wow,
yeah, definitely a bounce back, but a shot that I remember being the one to remember.
that's awesome.
Mhm.
Very nice. Yeah, it's always good to start with a kick in birdie for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
All right. Well, quick nine. We'll ask a few favorite things here.
Sure.
What is the favorite course that you've ever played?
My favorite course, Pebble Beach. I recently played there last year, and I think not only is my favorite course, but most memorable round. So I took my dad out there for his 56th birthday, and if you know a little about Pebble Beach, you either have to stay there to get a tee time or you book a day ahead. I happened to book a day ahead and I got lucky with the 3 p.m. Tee time. But without telling my dad, I actually had already booked the Spanish Bay to play Spanish Bay, which is why I told him initially. But I didn't tell him I booked Pebble Beach because it was last second. So I decided to kind of surprise him there. So when we were driving there, I was like, hey, Pop, we got to stop by the Pebble Beach shops. I got to grab something from my friend who wants a little like a hat or something. And then we both walked in. Instead of buying the hat, I was like, "Hey, my name is Tyler. I got a tea time at 3 o'clock for New and Tucson." And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, what's going on?" And it was just the coolest, reaction of my life, or that I've seen from him. And I got him a caddy as well too, and he was just stoked. And the reason why it was so memorable is because not only we both play really well, but we both birdie seven. And for me and my dad, we actually don't use our phones too much when we're playing, but I decided to just record it because it's the seventh hole at Pebble Beach and we both recorded the shot. He had like a 20-footer for birdie, which he sunk from left to right, and it was amazing. And then so I had a 10-foot putty for birdie, so I'm trying to put the pressure on him, but also make it kind of like a cherry on top for both of a dad and son moment. Knocked it in, just hammered it, and then just went straight in, and we both birdied. And again, it was the coolest moment I think that I've shared with my dad on the course.
That's awesome, man. What a
Mhm.
story.
Thank
What a good son too.
thank you. Yeah, I shout out to my brother because he covered for the caddy, I covered for.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Very
Mhm.
nice. All right. Well, that Pebble Beach, yeah, we have not played it. That's on the top of our bucket list.
Yeah.
What course is at the top of your bucket list?
Bucket list. I've always wanted to go to. I don't know the exact course in Ireland, but I just know Ireland just have so many great courses. I love playing links courses, but if I can say one on top of my head right now, I'll probably say going over to Bandon Dunes. I'm not
Yeah.
too far away from Oregon, but it's just so hard getting tee times. And for me, I'm always just the type of person that, like if I can't get tee time, I'll just stick to my regular course. So I have to really get myself out there and go play Bandon because I heard great things about it. Um, Pinehurst will be a
Uh,
cool trip. I recently went on my first boys trip last summer, and we're trying to plan something out for this upcoming summer. But Pinehurst also gets very booked up. So apparently, my friend says there's some great courses out in Montana. I haven't looked at exactly what courses they are, but he said good things about it, and he was the one that told us to go play in Utah and St. George last summer. So
yeah.
I'm gonna take his word for that. He's a pretty good golf course enthusiast. He actually works for the industry as well too. So we might head
Okay.
to Montana this summer, but Bandon Dunes and Pinehurst will be something up there. Hopefully one day.
That'd be awesome.
Hmm.
All right. What's your favorite course that no one knows about?
No one knows about favorite course.
Any kind of like local hidden gem?
I want to say San Teresa, but I'd be a little biased because I work there. But
Hey, that works.
Santa Teresa, yeah. I mean, Santa Teresa, I think is one of, again, not showing any bias, but I think is one of the best well-kept municipals in the area. It's actually home to actually the current number one amateur for boys, Jackson Coyven, and I believe she's
Oh
still
yeah.
number one. Yeah, he grew up his game at Santa Teresa, and then he moved
How about
to
that?
the East Coast, I think his junior year of high school to kind of elevate his game a little more. But Kayla Romero, I'm not sure if you know her, but she's, if not still the world number one amateur, if not former, but she also grew up there, and they're both kind of the same age and all that. And we grew some pretty good players. Justin Suh, who's on the PJ Tour, he didn't really, was home to that course, but he was a junior member there as well too. But they know that they attract so many junior golfers who are really trying to just make it in their career. So they always try to pristine the course. Greens are always rolling really good for a municipal. Grass is as green as you can get for a municipal. It's about 6,800 yards. Great for pretty long for a municipal. So I would say Sand Trees is a hidden gem. Second would be
Uh,
Eureka Park. I'm not just
okay.
saying that because they got my gloves up there too, but they're a great golf course as well. Award winning for their eco friendly approach of how they see the game. But that's a great course as well, Eureka Park in Alameda.
Very nice. We love a good muni for sure. So
Yeah,
who would be in your dream foursome?
my dream foursome. Me, my dad. I gotta put Tiger in there. I mean, it's just the greatest of all time in my books. And I'll probably say Fred Couples. I really
Okay.
like that guy. I love Fred Couples.
I love it.
Hmm.
All right. What is your favorite snack at the turn?
At the turn, I think right now since I'm at my age, I like to get a high noon in
Okay.
the high noon. But if it's a snack, is I would probably say a Snickers bar or
Okay.
something with beef jerky. I love beef jerky. I always carry Chomps in my golf bag from
Yeah.
Costco. So anything with some meat in it, I like that. Yeah, beef jerky.
Good stuff.
I'm not a hot
All
dog guy,
right.
actually, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Surprisingly, yeah.
What's your favorite golf course logo?
Golf course logo. I say Pase Tiempo. They have a really cool
Oh,
logo. Have you
such
seen
a
it?
sweet logo.
It's so cool. I think it's just so chill, and then it looks great on anything. Like, I'm not
I
a big
know.
fan of having a polo and then you can see like a big old logo of like Pebble Beach. I kind of like very subtle, but with the Pase Tiempo logo, I think it looks very clean and just very aesthetic in my eyes.
Yeah.
Mm.
And golfers know it, right? Not everybody would know it, but a golfer would know what it
A
is.
golfer would know it, yeah. And they've actually just renovated not too long ago, and I
Yep.
have yet to visit it. But my good friend um Matt from Firestone Productions did like a whole overview of the
Oh,
thing.
Maginella?
Maginella. I don't know why I
Yeah.
blanked on his last name, but Maginella. Yes, Maginella.
I was
Just
going
did,
to ask, the youth on course connection and all that fun stuff.
yeah. I was able to meet Maginella at the PJ Show in 2024, and we were able to work together to kind of bake our youth on course video of me giving back and all that. So he's been a great person to me in terms of connections and just kind of having someone to kind of talk to in the golfing world. So I love Matt. Mhm.
Yeah, he was great. We had him on as a guest probably a couple years ago now. So yeah, just
Yeah,
really really kind person that does a lot of great stuff.
he does. He does.
Yep. All right. What has been your favorite pro shop purchase?
Pro shop purchase. I think my favorite pro shop purchase was at Wailea in Hawaii. I bought this. You can say, what is those bags you put all your tees and little ball
Yeah,
markers?
yeah.
I don't know why, but I still carry it, and it's been over 10 years, and its zipper's all ripped up. But the reason why I carry another great story. So my dad, when I was growing up, he was actually a smoker, and we went to Hawaii for my grandma's birthday, like 60 or 70th birthday or something, like 80th birthday, and we were playing Wailea. And this is probably like my third year into golf. And I told my dad just out of just jokingly, I was like, hey, Dad, if I shoot 3 over or 5 over or better, right, you have to quit smoking. And I actually ended up shooting 1 over that day, and, he actually quit smoking. Uh, he was actually just telling himself he's gonna quit smoking just for that trip, but when he got back, for some reason, he had no urge to take a cigarette out and smoke, and instead he just chewed on some sunflowers, but I believe that's a little better than cigarettes. So I think that's why I care it because it just holds a memory. I feel like I hold things because it has some sentimental value, and seeing that it just always reminds me that, I probably helped my dad, in his future, in terms of health-wise, quitting smoking at his age. So, yeah, I'll probably say that's my most favorite and most memorable purchase is that, little, bag tea holder.
That's awesome. And you played good golf too, so
And
that
I
helps.
play good golf. I birdied
Yeah.
last hole, and I was like, "Alright, Dad, let's throw away the Marlboro." Is it what it's called?
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. Two more. What is one thing golfers should do?
golfers should do. I think, hmm. I'm trying to think of some P's I have on the course right now. Um, I think golfers, especially the new ones, and I'm just saying this out of just respect for the game. I think they should know when to pick it up, especially if you're starting out, right? Especially if you're playing a course like Santa Teresa, which I play all the time. I see all the time these players just always try to find their ball or take forever to warm up, but you have literally two groups behind us. I think pace is probably one of the things that can agitate a golfer or frustrate a golfer is if you're taking too long because whether you're playing good, you want to keep that momentum going and flowing, but if you're playing bad, that could even get worse. So I think knowing when to pick up your ball and just calling it like, okay, let's just go to the next hole. I think that's important and what every golfer should know. So that's the first thing I can think on top of my head.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Finish this sentence. The best part of golf is
The people. I think the nicest thing about golf that actually does it automatically is that you can meet new people. Um, when you're a single, you're most likely to play with threesome or twosome or even a single, and you don't know who that person is going to be. I've been very fortunate enough to get paired up randomly with some pretty nice figures that you probably might know, like the guy. Well, actually, you might not know him, but he was an assistant Warriors for the basketball. For the Golden State Warriors, which is really cool. I got to ran into Barack Obama actually in Hawaii over at
wow.
the course with the butterfly. I forget what's his name. Um, but I
Oh,
got to
Waialae. Yeah.
not Wailea. It was
Oh, Kapalua.
not Kapalua. Had a it's like a ladybug. I forget. I will let you know what that course is.
Okay.
But I rarely
Yeah, yeah.
just was walking out, see like 5 SUVs pull up, black, SUV. I'm like, who is this guy? Who do you think he is? I'm like, oh, that's Barack Obama. I got to say hi. He'll say hi back. It was really cool. Yeah, I think the nice thing about golf is that you can actually make new friends, make new people, or meet new people without really having to try. Because at the end of the day, there's a good chance within the 4 hours that you're gonna play with this person, whether you're the most introvert person, he's gonna say something, and who knows, that person could be your next best friend, your partner. Um, who knows? And I think that's a nice, exciting thing about playing golf is that you can meet somebody new each day.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Tyler, this has been fun, man. Tell
Thank you.
everybody where they can find out more about Four Links Golf and order some golf gloves.
Yeah. To find out about a little more Four Links, especially like behind the scenes, you can always follow me on social media at forelinksgolf.com. That's four with an E after. You can also buy our website through our website as well. I mean, buy our gloves through our website, forelinksgolf.com. It's also located on our bio on our Instagram. But if you really want to just always, know more about behind the scenes, the storytelling, our losses, our wins, I post it all the time on our social media. That's something I'm trying to get more consistent on. It's just continuously storytelling, and then when it comes to selling the product, that's what ads are for. So I leave that to the side on that. But we're a founder-led storytelling brand. Still doing this in my 100 square foot bedroom. So we're an underdog, but we're trying to get up there and see what we can offer to the golfing world.
I love it. Well, years from now, when we look back at this episode, we'll be like, we got to interview Tyler back when. And so that's fun for us. But
Thank you.
do y'all offer any kind of subscription plans or things like that? Because obviously kind of the estimated time of how long a glove might last. But do you
Yeah.
offer anything like that?
When it comes to subscriptions where you buy now and you can save on your next purchase, it's something we haven't implemented yet, but it's something
Well,
that
I'm
we
thinking more just like go ahead and like pre-order to where it's like a new glove's going to show up every month or something like that.
Oh, yeah, so like a subscription service, right? Kinda like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, we actually want to cater that towards our basically, our people who purchase us from, the beginning or who subscribe to our newsletter, because I feel
nice.
like when you add little, like, like how Amazon is that you buy if you subscribe, you save 10%. I feel that's very intimate. I feel like when it comes to subscribing to something, you wanna make sure that you're committed to it because the last thing you wanna do is, like, you subscribe so that you can save 10% off, but you realize that, "Oh, I only did that so I get 10% off," and you forget to unsubscribe. I feel that creates an imbalance. I feel that when you want to offer that, it's just people who actually like the product, who bought from you more than twice. And the nice thing about e-commerce now is that we have all these things called segmentations. You can find those people and you can target them, and that's when we want to roll it out. But something that, of course, we want to implement because golf gloves are consumable, and if the person likes your product in the first place, they might come back again and buy more. So it should be leaving money on the table if I don't do it anytime soon. So something like that is definitely in the works.
Well, after talking with you, I am sure you will figure it out and you will execute it to perfection. So,
Thank you, Robbie.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
man, Tyler, this has been a lot of fun, man. Just learning more about you, learning more about the golf glove and how, like you describe it, it's equipment, right? It's not just a consumable thing, but it is
I agree.
an integral part of how people can get better or not if they're not using the right equipment, right?
100%. Yeah, really
Yeah.
appreciate it, Robbie. I really appreciate you, Jonathan, for bringing me on the show. I had a great time as well too, and hopefully we can connect again soon.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we'll have links in the show notes to where you can find Tyler and the great stuff he's doing with Four Links. But until then, for Tyler and Jonathan, this is Robbie. You guys have been listening to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast.